People get... We haven't even asked it yet. No, people get too comfortable too quickly, I guess, is where we're going with this.
Yeah, and that's the topic that we want to cover for today. And to jump right into this topic for today.
No fucking around.
No fucking around. I became aware of this just recently. And as recently as, say, 3 weeks ago, I was on holidays in Noosa.
You got to stop giving time frames. What
Fuck
if we
that.
post this in 9
Who cares?
months?
Who cares?
All right. Go. Noosa?
They'll figure it out. They'll go, fuck, this guy goes to Noosa regularly.
So,
They'll see it. He goes on holidays all the time.
so where were you?
So I was in Noosa on a family holiday over the Christmas period, to be specific. And it's something we tend to do annually. However, this was the very first time that I picked up on this. And I think it was only because I've started to make significant changes to to my health and fitness. Mm-hmm. So we're at the pool, sitting around, and I was people watching as the kids are playing in the pool. And my wife was sitting there having a couple of drinks by the pool and doing what she's doing. I started to people watch, and I was really fascinated that I actually picked this up because you could probably say I'm a little bit oblivious to what goes on around me as far as people because I just don't care enough.
You've never people watched before?
No, I haven't. Not really.
Oh,
Not really. But this time I was looking, and I was actually looking at the blokes that were all there. So I would say that this resort that we stayed at, RACV resort in Noosa, and it's a nicer type of a resort. So I would say most people that are at this place would have a somewhat professional job because it's not exactly cheap. It's not ridiculously expensive, but it's not cheap. If you're going to stay there for a week, you're going to be spending thousands.
So that probably
For a
earning
family
6
holiday.
figures.
Yeah, let's just say. Probably a good way to look at it. So most of these people, I reckon, at this resort were six-figure people. And having spoken to a few of them, because a lot were from Melbourne as well, speaking to a few of them, they were all professionals in what they were doing and had some pretty good jobs. But the one thing I noticed, all right, let's just say there was 100 guys there. There was 5 blokes that were in really good shape. And when I say good shape, I mean probably 12 to 14% body fat. All right, so some were ripped, some had proper six packs. Others, you go, okay, you're in shape.
Like you're slim.
You're slim, but also muscular.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd say there's probably only 5 out of 100. Every other person there was fat, was overweight. Like not to call an ace of spades an ace of spades. They were overweight. And there were a lot of people there that were unhealthy. So there were some people that were just, okay, you're out of shape. Then there's other people that, okay, mate, you're pushing heart attack territory. And it was funny, I was speaking to my trainer about this as well, my PT, and I said this exact same thing to him. I was blown away when I actually started to take notice of it. It was like day 2. I'm like, fuck, everyone's fat here. Everyone is overweight. And he goes, my PT said to me, he goes, yeah, the next thing that you'll start to notice is you'll start to notice what people eat. Because you're watching what you're eating and you're making conscious decisions not to go out and have cake and ice cream and all that sort of stuff, and you'll start to notice what everyone else is eating. And I said to him, I go, 100%. I actually did that at the resort as well because we had buffet breakfast in the morning. And I remember seeing kids. They were loading up, and these kids they were overweight, probably, I don't know, 9 to 13, whatever it might have been. Overweight kids piling their plate with donuts, Cocoa Pops, croissants, like things that were desserts, but that were available on the buffet table, but they were putting it on their plate. Now, that obviously comes from somewhere. The parents are obviously, you look at the parents and they're probably much the same as what they're doing as well and what they're eating.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, it got me thinking as well, and why I wanted to have this discussion with you today, which you also reminded me about, it was people have become too comfortable with being comfortable. It's too easy to be comfortable for us. We don't have to go out and hunt for our food. We don't have to go out and walk for kilometres to pick up water or whatever it might be. We're too comfortable. Everything's too easy for us, and I think people have leaned into that way too much.
Why?
I reckon it's society pressures. I reckon it's laziness. I reckon it's a survival thing as well. Like from, let's go real caveman, they're conserving as little energy as possible because they need to survive. And I think that's built into us because it's hard. To be uncomfortable is a difficult thing. You have to physically or mentally and physically put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. But that's where growth is in all areas.
Dude, I put up a post the other day and I wrote, first time I hired a coach was 2016, 17, something like that. And I hired my first coach. And in our first session together, so this wasn't, hadn't even hired him at this point. He was like, come, we'll have a chat. And if you like it, we'll continue. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Sorry, coach for what? Just out of...
I was working in real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went and I saw him and we had a chat and he said to me, when was the last time you made yourself uncomfortable on purpose? And I just looked at him thinking, what? Like, what a weird thing to say. I swear to God, when he said that, I was thinking, yeah, I'll just see this session out. Do you know what I mean? I thought, what a weird guy. Yeah. Why would I make myself uncomfortable on purpose? Like, life is all about doing the things you like and getting comfortable, right?
Yeah. And things that are easy.
Yeah, things that are easy. Like, why would you go do the hard thing? Like, it made no sense to me at the time. And yeah, and he's actually the reason why I have a cold shower every day now. Yeah, because he's like to me, have you ever had a cold shower? And I was like,
why the fuck would I do that?
That is bizarre. Why would I do that? It makes no sense. My hot water's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then he actually obviously got through to me. And I ended up working with him for about 18 months. I'm actually still in contact with him today.
Beneficial? Good 18 months?
Yeah, he was great. He's really, really good coach. And he taught me a lot of stuff. I had some moments with him where it was like blew me away. And I was just like, whoa. Like,
that's what you want from a coach,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's what you want, man. You want them to show you something, pick up on the patterns that you're doing. You know what I mean? And I can remember one specific moment where he stopped and he's like, hey, and he drilled me.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving thinking, fuck this guy, man, Like, well, I'm paying him and he's talking to me like that. Like, do you know what I mean? And yeah, he blew me away. But he was the first person to bring that whole notion of, when was the last time you purposefully made yourself uncomfortable? But so why do we do it? Why does everyone do it? What's the... You reckon it's just a survival thing? Like, in the sense of why don't people put themselves in uncomfortable positions? Why do they just why do we lean into what's easy? Why is it easier to have the cake than it is to not have dessert? Why is it easier to eat the meal that you feel like the fattier meal? Why is it easier to have the burger than the salad? Why is it, you know what I mean? Because you never sit there like, burger, should I? You always like, you'll dive straight in. Why? Why do we do that?
I think it comes down to how readily available everything is for us.
But the salad's just as available.
Yeah, well, it doesn't taste as good, so it's not as pleasing for us. So again, not as pleasing, not as easy. I have to stomach that salad, and I'm not going to get that initial satisfaction of having the burger, the chips, the cake, the Coke.
But don't you think you feel better when you have the salad?
Initially. Oh, sorry, yes, yeah, in the long term, absolutely. Absolutely. And you can, look, salads don't have to taste bad. Like, I've had some pretty amazing salads. But I think, again, people prefer that sugary, fatty taste. It tastes better for us. It tastes better to us than what it would the actual food itself, the healthier option.
It's a short-term pleasure. Like,
absolutely, it is.
Absolutely. Not willing to withstand the
pain of today.
Longer-term gratification.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something even like delayed gratification is massive.
That's the delayed gratification.
It's huge. And I was having this chat with my wife the other day. And she's like, oh, why don't you go get those shoes? I was going to buy some new shoes or something. She's like, I'll just get them. Like, I can afford it. I'm like, nah, that's all right. I want to do this before I get that, and I'll reward myself with that. I was saying I was going to do an event. And I said, when we do the event, we have a good event, I'll reward myself and go out and get it. I don't need to get it right now. Could have very easily done it.
Yeah.
They weren't going to break the bank, these shoes. I said, no, I'll wait. And it's also, I want to teach my children that as well, having that delayed gratification. You're not going to get everything you want today. I'm not going to go to the gym tonight and then tomorrow going to have a six-pack. I have to work for it. It's got to be hard. It needs to be challenging. It needs to be worth it. In order for to have these things that you want, you need to be willing to work for it. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it. And it's evident when things are easy, like we're saying with the weight, it's easy to be fat. It is so easy to be fat. It's easy to be lazy. It's so easy. You sit home, play PlayStation all day, watch TV, eat junk food, not exercise, not communicate with people, sit in your own cocoon, do your own thing. Now, you're going to get that comfort today, but later on in life, you're going to pay for it. That's 100%. What people, it's in everything. And it's not until I really started to deep dive into this, and not just from health perspective, but also from business, from life, from everything. Not until you invest and put in the hard yards that things become better in the future.
Have you heard?
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. Or if you want to watch the full episode, you can click over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.